Breaking Down the X is a series where I have teamed up with Sideline Sop to review the nation's top face-off units in detail. In this week's episode, we are taking a look at the face-off unit of the Syracuse Orange. The Orange feature a 1-2 punch in junior Danny Varela and sophomore Jakob Phaup. Collectively, the duo boasts a 60% win rate.
Syracuse outstanding at the X on the year.
And Varela wins it outright. Great start for the Orange.
50-50 balls. Watch Phaup, man. He will grind and wear on you.
Varela has a strong, quick first move to the ball, while Phaup finds successes in his rotations and his tie-ups. This gives the Orange two polar opposite face-off styles to play with, and the luxury to make in-game adjustments by simply changing personnel. First up, we'll take a look at Varela. In this first clip, we have a great angle of Varela's clamp. He begins with his shoulders turned directly towards the ball. We should note that Varela rolls his right wrist back more than most face-off guys do. Off the whistle, we see just how quick he is to the ball, slamming his right hand down the line and getting his throat of the stick to the ball immediately. His left hand slightly lifts up as he punches out in an effort to get his top edge over the ball to lock it into his throat. Next, we see him utilize a quick snap with his left hand to bring his stick towards the body. He does a great job of getting to his feet and popping the ball to his left hip. Finally, we see Syracuse's wing strategy on display. They are in what I like to call a standard setup. Their short stick is on Varela's draw side on the defensive side of the field. Number one, to prevent transition, but also to be an outlet. His LSM is on the opponent's draw side, hip to hip with his opponent. This is so he has a chance to get involved in any loose ball situation that North Carolina pulls out to their draw side. North Carolina elects to go hip to hip on Syracuse's draw side and gives Varela an easy out forward. Again, we are going to get a great look at Varela's clamp. We see both his speed and his power on display. His right hand punch is right on the whistle and he attacks the ball on a straight line, employing the same technique of lifting his left hand immediately. His power derives from pushing off of his toes. As a byproduct, we see his shoulders more aggressively snap a few inches towards the head of his stick, putting him in a great position. Next, we see him swing his butt end and hips counterclockwise to create some space between himself and Tucci. Given Syracuse's standard setup, they are challenging UNC to make a decision. They almost get to Varela, but he is well aware of the UNC player collapsing on him, and he is able to make a quick pass to his teammate, or like we said earlier, his outlet. Syracuse is then able to draw a penalty, which every coach loves to see out of a ground ball situational win. As we move into the second quarter, we see how Varela's consistency with his technique and quick reaction time pose problems for Syracuse's opponents. As UNC elects to go hip to hip on Varela's draw side, he continues to focus on going forward. This time, however, he misses the first time catch on his pop. At this point, we can see if Syracuse's wing unit is on the same page as his outlet. As the UNC wing goes to collapse and make a play, Varela does a great job of getting his body into his opponent's to prevent him from picking up the ball, and he then kicks the ball to his open teammate. His teammate is able to scoop the ball up with his hands free, and Syracuse has another possession. Next, we will take a look at sophomore Jakob Phaup, Syracuse's other star drawman. Phaup's ability to make adjustments and win faceoffs in succession has played a major role in some of Syracuse's biggest comebacks this season. Although the Orange fell short in this game, Phaup was able to string together wins in the third and fourth quarter that proved extremely vital to the team's overall momentum and helped them go on a major run. For this matchup, we're going to dive right into the fourth quarter, and here we have an excellent view of the faceoff. As you can see, Phaup's right elbow and wrist are more bent than those of Charles Leonard from Notre Dame. This sets him up to stay low and work around his opponent to secure the ball. You can see space under Leonard's stick, meaning he is light on his hands, while you don't see much space under Phaup's stick. This means Phaup has a little more pressure on his hands in an effort to sit lower to the ground and closer to the ball. As the players meet on the whistle, we see Phaup's right hand directly in the head of his opponent's stick. We also see his left hand punch a little bit further and his butt end ends out further from his body than his opponent's. What's most important is that we do not see his left foot step across the screen off the initial whistle. This shows discipline and commitment to the first move while setting up his rotation. As expected, Phaup moves second before Leonard. He lifts slightly and brings his left hand down in succession as he works around to lock the ball all the way into the throat of his stick and get his plastic underneath his opponent's. As he exits, we see turf fly from the ground. This means that Phaup maintains pressure and drags his stick past his opponents to clear his hands and body before popping the ball from the ground. As the fourth quarter goes on, we see Syracuse inching closer to Notre Dame, due largely in part to playing make it take it with Phaup. This time, we see Phaup speed to the ball as he secures the ball off the initial move and lifts his left hand to lock the ball into his throat. We can see he gets to his feet as his body leaves the picture. Next, we see Leonard get to his feet in an effort to counter. Phaup brings his left hand back to the ground, drops his left foot back, drags across the turf again to clear his stick, and is able to escape cleanly. As Phaup goes to exit, withholding was called on the play, a violation that counts towards each team's 3 face-off violations allotted per half. The Syracuse run continues. Here we see the fine footwork and body position of Phaup. He starts tight to the line with his body completely angled. As long as he's able to get that right hand into the ball, his setup is great for attacking opponents at their backside if they fail to rotate as quickly as he does. He drives in, drops his left hand, and shovels his feet to rotate. His left elbow is bent just like he is bench pressing. This allows for power and control over his movements. Leonard is not as quick to rotate, and Phaup secures the entirety of the ball 1/4 turn into his rotation. As he gets to his feet and snaps that left hand up to lock the ball in, he notices that Leonard attempts a counter move called a shovel, in which he lifts underneath Phaup's stick. Phaup wisely elects to use Leonard's force to his advantage and rolls his wrist back and executes a right pop. As a result, he's able to catch his exit cleanly. He then chooses to go backwards and give his team a chance to clear. As Phaup's strategy trends towards longer faceoffs, we see how Syracuse maintains hip-to-hip position in an effort to clear as much space as possible for Phaup to exit the faceoff cleanly to himself. As you can see, there are similarities between the two orange faceoff men. However, their differences in technique and execution make them a powerful dual threat for Syracuse. Both showcase a variety of different exits, and the orange do a great job of setting their wings up to play to each of their strengths. Thank you for watching our face-off breakdown of the Syracuse Orange. Please give us your feedback and let us know who you would like to see us feature next. Lastly, as always, don't forget to hit subscribe, follow J Nards and the Face-Off Factory. Thank you.